Let them go. Love yourself first, because your peace has been waiting longer than your heart should have to wait. If someone keeps making you feel unseen, confused, or emotionally tired, this is your sign to stop losing yourself for love and come back to the life that still belongs to you. Not because your heart is cold, not because what you felt was not real, not because you stopped caring. Let them go because your peace matters too. Let them go because your spirit was not created to live in constant worry, waiting for someone else to become gentle with your heart. Let them go because your life cannot open while both hands are still holding pain. Let them go because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop begging for love where your soul keeps feeling empty. Letting them go does not mean you erase the memories. It does not mean you pretend nothing happened. It does not mean you become hard, bitter, or closed. It means you stop giving your whole inner world to someone who does not know how to hold it with care. It means you stop leaving yourself outside the door while hoping someone else will invite you in. It means you come back to your own heart and say, I am here now. I will not abandon myself again. For a long time, you may have believed that love means staying no matter how much it hurts. You may have believed that love means proving yourself, explaining yourself, shrinking yourself, and making excuses for people who keep breaking your peace. But love was never meant to make you disappear. Love was never meant to make you feel small. Love was never meant to teach you that your needs are too much, your feelings are a problem, or your silence is the price of being kept. True love does not ask you to lose your spirit. True love does not ask you to carry all the weight alone. True love does not leave you confused for days and then call it normal. True love does not make you chase peace from someone who keeps taking it away. And when something keeps pulling you away from yourself, it is not your job to hold it forever. It is your job to listen to the quiet truth inside you. It is your job to return to the place in you that still knows how to be whole. Maybe you are not ready to let go of everything at once. That is okay. Healing does not need to be rushed. Your heart may still feel attached. Your mind may still go back to old conversations. Your body may still remember the times you hoped things would become different. But even if part of you still loves, another part of you is learning to choose peace. Another part of you is learning that love without self-love becomes a prison. Another part of you is learning that you can care deeply and still walk away from what keeps wounding you. Let them go from the place inside your mind where you keep replaying what they did. Let them go from the place in your chest where you keep waiting for an apology that may never come. Let them go from the small corner of your heart where you still hope they will finally understand your pain. Let them go from the story that says you cannot be happy unless they choose you, return to you, or become who you needed them to be. Your peace cannot depend on someone else becoming ready. Your peace cannot wait for someone else to grow. Your peace cannot stay locked behind another person's behavior. You are allowed to be free now, even if they never explain. You are allowed to heal now, even if they never say the words you needed. You are allowed to move forward now, even if they never understand what they put you through. There is a sacred strength in saying, I will not fight for a place where my heart is not safe. There is a sacred strength in saying, I can love, but I will not destroy myself for love. There is a sacred strength in saying, I release what keeps pulling me away from peace. This strength is not loud. It does not need to prove itself. It is quiet. It is steady. It is the kind of strength that begins inside your soul when you finally stop choosing pain because it feels familiar. You may have confused attachment with love. Many people do. Attachment says, I need this person to be okay. Love says, I can care and still be whole. Attachment says, if they leave, I lose myself. Love says, if someone leaves, I still belong to myself. Attachment says, I must chase, fix, explain, and hold on. Love says, I can bless, release, and return to peace. Attachment makes the body tight. Love makes the spirit soft. Attachment makes the mind restless. Love brings you back home. Letting them go may feel like a loss at first, but sometimes what feels like loss is really space. Space for your heart to breathe again. Space for your thoughts to become calm again. Space for your body to rest again. Space for life to bring in something that does not need to be begged for. You cannot receive peace while holding tightly to the pain that keeps pushing peace away. You cannot welcome new light while carrying the old weight like it is your identity. You are not losing yourself by letting them go. You are finding yourself. You are finding the part of you that stopped speaking. You are finding the part of you that became tired from being strong. You are finding the part of you that waited too long for love to feel safe. You are finding the part of you that deserves gentleness, honesty, care, and peace. And that part of you has been waiting for you to come back. Maybe you gave your best. Maybe you stayed kind. Maybe you forgave more than others know. Maybe you hoped until hope itself became heavy. Maybe you saw their good side and kept holding on to that small piece even when the rest of the connection kept hurting you. You do not need to judge yourself for that. A loving heart often holds on because it sees what could be. But your soul is asking you now to see what is. Not what you wished for, not what you imagined, not what they promised, what is. And if what is does not bring peace, honesty, respect, and emotional safety, then your spirit is allowed to step back. Your spirit is allowed to say, this is not where I can keep giving myself away. Your spirit is allowed to choose calm over confusion. Your spirit is allowed to choose self-respect over waiting. Your spirit is allowed to choose healing over repeating the same pain. Let them go. does not mean you stop loving. It means you stop bleeding from love. It means you stop making your heart the place where another person's carelessness can keep returning. It means you stop calling pain loyalty. It means you stop calling anxiety devotion. It means you stop calling self-abandonment patience. It means you finally understand that love must include you too. For so long, you may have tried to be easy to love. You may have hidden your needs. You may have made your voice smaller. You may have accepted less than your heart desired because you were afraid to lose what little you had. But love that requires you to become less of yourself is not the love your soul came here to live in. You are allowed to be loved without disappearing. You are allowed to be cared for without begging. You are allowed to be respected without explaining basic kindness again and again. Your peace is not selfish. Your boundaries are not cruel. Your silence after too much pain is not weakness. Your decision to step back is not failure. Sometimes it is the first honest thing you have done for your own heart in a long time. Sometimes the soul does not heal by getting more answers. Sometimes the soul heals by no longer standing in the place where the questions keep hurting. Let them go with softness. Let them go without sending anger into your own body. Let them go without making yourself wrong for loving them. Let them go without turning your heart into stone. You can release someone and still wish them peace from far away. You can close a door and still carry grace. You can stop giving access to your heart and still remain loving. Letting go is not a punishment. It is protection. It is a return. It is the moment you stop handing your peace to someone who did not know its value. There is nothing wrong with wanting love. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be chosen. There is nothing wrong with wanting warmth, care, and closeness. But there is deep pain in wanting those things from a place that keeps proving it cannot give them to you in a healthy way. Your heart is not foolish for hoping. Your heart was made to love. But now your heart is learning wisdom. It is learning that love must be joined with self-respect. It is learning that the person you must never leave behind is yourself. So today, begin again, not with force, not with anger, not with a hard wall around your heart. Begin with a soft decision. I choose myself too. Let that sentence settle inside you. I choose myself too. Not instead of love, not against anyone, but with love for the life inside you, with love for the peace you have been missing, with love for the part of you that is tired of waiting outside your own heart. You are allowed to stop chasing what makes you feel unseen. You are allowed to stop holding what makes you feel heavy. You are allowed to stop waiting for someone to become the answer to your pain. You are allowed to let your own love become the first place you rest. You are allowed to let your own soul become your home again. Holding on can look like love from the outside, but inside the spirit, it can feel like a slow draining of peace. At first, you may not notice it. You tell yourself you are being patient. You tell yourself you are being understanding. You tell yourself that everyone has flaws and that maybe you should give more time, more space, more kindness, more chances. But little by little, something changes inside you. Your joy becomes quiet. Your thoughts become heavy. Your body becomes tense. Your heart waits instead of living. Your mind searches instead of resting. You begin to feel like your peace is always far away, always just beyond the next message, the next apology, the next change, the next sign. This is how holding on hurts the spirit. It keeps you tied to a version of life where your inner calm depends on someone else. It teaches you to look outside yourself for permission to feel okay. It makes your mood rise and fall with someone's attention. It makes your heart feel safe only when they are kind, present, or warm. Then when they pull away, go silent, become cold, or act careless, your whole inner world begins to shake. That is not peace. That is not love in its healthiest form. That is emotional survival. Your spirit was not made to live in survival. Your spirit was made to live in truth, peace, and love. Your spirit was made to feel connected to life, not trapped in fear. But when you hold on too tightly to what hurts you, you begin to forget your own light. You begin to forget that you had dreams before this paw in. You begin to forget that you had a voice before this confusion. You begin to forget that your heart was once soft without being afraid. Holding on can make you feel like you are protecting love, but sometimes you are only protecting an old wound. You may be holding on to the memory of how it used to feel. You may be holding on to the beginning, when everything felt tender, hopeful, and full of promise. You may be holding on to the words they once said, the way they once looked at you, the way your heart opened because you believed something beautiful had finally arrived. And because that memory felt real, it becomes hard to accept what is happening now. The mind keeps going back to the good moments and saying, maybe that is who they really are. Maybe it can become that again. But peace asks you to look with honest eyes, not cruel eyes, not angry eyes, honest eyes. What is this connection doing to your spirit now? Does it make you feel safe? Does it make you feel valued? Does it make you feel free to be yourself? Does it bring rest to your heart? Does it help you love yourself more, or does it make you question your worth? These questions are not here to hurt you. They are here to wake you gently. When holding on hurts your spirit, you may begin to overthink everything. You may read small signs and try to understand hidden meanings. You may wonder what you did wrong. You may replay words in your mind. You may wait for a message and feel your whole body become tense. You may feel peace for a short time when things seem better, then feel lost again when the same pattern returns. This is not because you are weak. It is because your heart has been living in uncertainty for too long. Uncertainty can become very heavy. It keeps the mind busy and the body alert. It makes the soul feel like it cannot fully rest. You may sleep, but not feel rested. You may smile, but still feel heavy inside. You may go through the day, but your mind keeps returning to the same person, the same pain, the same question. Why did this happen? Why did they change? Why was I not enough? Why can they not see how much I care? These questions can take so much space inside you that there is little room left for joy. But you were not created to spend your whole life asking why someone could not love you well. You were not created to measure your worth by another person's behavior. You were not created to shrink your peace so someone else could keep having access to your heart without responsibility. You were created to live with an open spirit, a clear mind, and a heart that knows it is loved from within. Holding on hurts because it often keeps you loyal to pain. You may feel guilty for stepping away. You may feel afraid that choosing peace means you are giving up too soon. You may worry that if you stop trying, you will lose them forever. But ask yourself gently, how much of yourself have you already lost by staying attached to what keeps hurting you? How many quiet parts of you have gone silent? How much peace have you traded for hope? How long has your heart been waiting for rest? There is a kind of tiredness that sleep cannot fix. It comes from carrying emotional weight for too long. It comes from giving love where love is not being returned with care. It comes from trying to be strong while your heart is breaking in private. It comes from forgiving without healing. It comes from staying connected to something that keeps reopening the same pain. This tiredness is not only in the mind, it settles in the spirit. It makes life feel heavier than it needs to be. And still, you may have stayed because your love was real. You may have stayed because you saw their pain too. You may have stayed because you understood why they acted the way they did. You may have stayed because you did not want to be another person who left. You may have stayed because you believed love should be patient. There is beauty in your caring heart, but your caring heart also needs care. Your understanding also needs boundaries. Your patience also needs protection. Your love also needs to include your own soul. You can understand someone and still not allow them to hurt you anymore. You can care about their journey and still choose your own peace. You can see their wounds and still stop letting those wounds become your responsibility. You can wish them healing and still accept that you cannot heal them by losing yourself. You are not here to become the place where someone else keeps placing their unhealed pain. You are not here to be endlessly available for confusion. You are not here to prove your goodness by staying in what breaks you. Holding on can also become a way of avoiding grief. Sometimes letting go hurts because it means you must feel the truth. It means you must admit that what you wanted is not what you received. It means you must stop living inside the hope of what could be and face the sadness of what is. This is not easy. The heart may resist it, the mind may bargain, the spirit may feel afraid. But truth is not here to destroy you. Truth is here to free you. The moment you stop fighting what you already know, your peace begins to return. There may be sadness in letting go, but there is also relief. There may be tears, but there is also space. There may be emptiness at first, but that emptiness can become sacred. It can become the place where your own voice returns. It can become the place where you remember what you enjoy, what you need, what you believe, and what kind of love feels safe to your heart. The space left behind is not a punishment. It is a clearing. It is where your next season begins to form. Your spirit feels pain when you stay connected to what keeps lowering your light. It feels pain when you ignore your own truth to keep another person comfortable. It feels pain when you silence your needs because you fear rejection. It feels pain when you keep choosing someone else's presence over your own peace. The spirit speaks softly at first. It may begin as a small discomfort, then it becomes heaviness, then it becomes exhaustion. Then it becomes a deep knowing that something must change. Listen to that knowing. It is not there to shame you. It is there to guide you. It is the wise part of you that still remembers your worth. It is the part of you that has watched you carry too much and is gently saying, "Come home now." It is the part of you that knows love should not feel like self-betrayal. It is the part of you that knows your peace is not too much to ask for. Sometimes the spirit becomes tired because you keep asking the wrong question. You ask, "How can I make them love me better?" But the deeper question is, why am I staying where I do not feel loved with care? You ask, how can I make them understand me? But the deeper question is, why do I keep explaining my pain to someone who keeps repeating it? You ask, how can I keep this connection alive? But the deeper question is this connection keeping me alive inside, or is it slowly taking me away from myself? These questions may feel heavy, but they are also holy. They are doors back to yourself. They are not here to make you feel wrong. They are here to bring you into honesty. And honesty is where healing begins. Not the kind of honesty that attacks you. The kind of honesty that holds your hand and says, "You have suffered enough. You do not need to keep choosing this." Your heart may still argue. It may say, "But I love them." And yes, maybe you do. But love alone is not always enough to make something healthy. Love needs respect. Love needs safety. Love needs care. Love needs honesty. Love needs peace. Without these things, love can become a place where you keep giving and receiving pain in return. You can love someone and still accept that the connection is not good for your spirit. You can love someone and still choose distance. You can love someone and still choose yourself. There is no shame in needing peace. There is no shame in wanting kindness. There is no shame in being tired of confusion. There is no shame in finally admitting that you cannot keep carrying something that keeps hurting your soul. You do not need to wait until you are completely broken to leave what is not helping you heal. You do not need to wait until there is nothing left of you. You can choose peace before your spirit becomes empty. You can choose yourself before the pain becomes your whole identity. When you let go of what hurts your spirit, you begin to feel life differently. At first, the quiet may feel strange. You may not know what to do without the old worry. You may not know who you are when you are not waiting, chasing, or trying to fix. But slowly, the quiet becomes kind. Slowly, your body learns that calm is safe. Slowly, your mind stops searching for danger. Slowly, your heart begins to open to itself. And one day, you realize that the peace you were begging someone else to give you was already waiting inside your own return. This is why holding on hurts. Not because love is wrong, not because you should never care deeply, but because anything that makes you abandon yourself cannot be your home. Anything that keeps your nervous heart in fear cannot be your resting place. Anything that makes you feel unworthy cannot be the truth of love. Love should not require the death of your peace. Love should help your peace grow. So let your spirit be honest. Let your heart admit what it knows. Let your body soften from the long waiting. Let your mind stop fighting for a story that keeps causing pain. You do not have to hate anyone to choose yourself. You do not have to close your heart to protect your peace. You only have to stop placing your sacred energy in hands that do not hold it gently. Your spirit is asking for room. Room to heal. Room to breathe naturally. Room to feel joy again. Room to hear its own voice. Room to remember that life is bigger than the person or pain you have been holding. There is a wider life waiting for you. There is a softer peace waiting for you. There is a deeper love waiting inside you. But you must stop making your heart live around what keeps hurting it. Let the old weight loosen. Let the story soften. Let the need to chase become quiet. Let the part of you that has been waiting feel seen. You do not need to force the release. You only need to stop feeding the pain with your whole life. You only need to begin choosing peace where you used to choose fear. You only need to begin listening to the part of you that says, I am ready to come back to myself. Loving yourself first is not selfish. It is not pride. It is not coldness. It is not pushing people away. Loving yourself first means you finally understand that your heart is also worthy of care. It means your feelings matter. Your peace matters. Your needs matter. Your spirit matters. It means you stop treating yourself like the last person you must consider. It means you stop giving everyone else a soft place to land while leaving your own heart alone in the dark. Many people are taught to love others while forgetting themselves. They are taught to be kind, to forgive, to understand, to give, to stay, to keep the peace, to be patient. These things can be beautiful when they come from a full heart, but when they come from fear, they become painful. If you are kind because you are afraid to be left, that kindness becomes heavy. If you forgive because you are afraid to lose someone, that forgiveness becomes incomplete. If you stay silent because you fear conflict, that silence becomes a wound. If you keep giving because you want to be chosen, that giving becomes self-abandonment. Loving yourself first brings love back into balance. It does not say only I matter. It says I matter too. It does not say I will never care for anyone again. It says I will care without disappearing. It does not say I will close my heart. It says I will protect my heart so it can stay open in a healthy way. Loving yourself first does not make you less loving. It makes your love cleaner, safer, and more honest. When you do not love yourself first, you may start accepting things that slowly hurt you. You may accept little disrespect because you do not want to seem difficult. You may accept emotional distance because you think asking for closeness is too much. You may accept confusion because you hope it will change. You may accept being ignored because you are afraid to ask for better. You may accept broken promises because you are scared that holding someone accountable will make them leave. And little by little, your heart begins to believe that love means tolerating pain. But love is not meant to be endless tolerance. Love is not meant to be proving your worth again and again. Love is not meant to be a place where you beg for basic care. Love is not meant to make you feel guilty for having needs. Loving yourself first helps you remember this. It helps you say, I can be loving, but I can also be honest. It helps you say, I can understand you, but I cannot keep betraying myself. It helps you say, I wish you well, but I choose peace. There may be a part of you that feels afraid to love yourself first. Maybe you were taught that putting yourself first is wrong. Maybe you learned that being good means always giving more. Maybe you were praised for being easy, quiet, helpful, and forgiving. Maybe people only seemed pleased with you when you had no needs. So now, when you begin to choose yourself, guilt may rise. You may feel like you are doing something wrong, but guilt does not always mean you are wrong. Sometimes guilt appears because you are breaking an old pattern. If you spent years abandoning yourself, self-love may feel unfamiliar. If you spent years pleasing others, Boundaries may feel uncomfortable. If you spent years trying to earn love, peace may feel strange. But unfamiliar does not mean wrong. New does not mean unsafe. Sometimes healing feels uncomfortable because it is taking you out of the old place where you learned to survive. Loving yourself first may feel new, but it is a return to truth. You were born worthy. Before you gave anything, proved anything, fixed anything, or became useful to anyone, you were worthy. Your worth did not begin when someone loved you. Your worth does not end when someone leaves. Your worth does not rise when someone chooses you, and it does not fall when someone cannot see you. Your worth is not in another person's hands. It lives inside you because you exist. This is one of the deepest lessons of self-love. You do not become valuable because someone understands your heart. You do not become lovable because someone stays. You do not become enough because someone finally changes. You are already enough. You are already lovable. You are already worthy of peace, care, respect, and tenderness. When you forget this, you begin to chase. When you remember this, you begin to return. Loving yourself first means you stop chasing people who make you question your value. It means you stop trying to become smaller so someone else will feel comfortable. It means you stop explaining your heart to people who only listen when it benefits them. It means you stop making excuses for actions that keep hurting you. It means you stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to feel whole. This does not mean you become harsh. You can be soft and still have boundaries. You can be gentle and still say no. You can be forgiving and still move on. You can be kind and still choose distance. You can care and still stop carrying someone else's emotional weight. Self-love is not a wall built from anger. It is a home built from truth. Imagine your heart as a sacred home. For a long time, you may have let others enter without care. You may have allowed people to bring confusion, coldness, neglect, or disrespect into that home because you were afraid to close the door. You may have cleaned up the pain after them and still hoped they would treat the space better next time. But loving yourself first means you begin to honor the home within you. You begin to understand that not everyone should have the same access to your heart. Access must come with care. Closeness must come with respect. Love must come with responsibility. Your heart is not a place for people to visit only when they are lonely. Your heart is not a place for someone to enter and leave whenever they choose. Your heart is not a place for mixed signals, half-love, and emotional carelessness. Your heart is a living, feeling part of you. It deserves gentleness. It deserves honesty. It deserves safety. Loving yourself first means you finally treat your own heart as sacred. You may wonder, what does loving myself first look like? It looks like telling the truth to yourself. It looks like admitting when something hurts. It looks like no longer making your pain smaller to protect someone else's comfort. It looks like resting when you are tired. It looks like not answering from fear. It looks like not chasing after someone who keeps walking away emotionally. It looks like choosing not to beg for love. It looks like allowing yourself to grieve without turning back to the same pain for comfort. It also looks like speaking to yourself with kindness. Many times the voice inside becomes harsh after heartbreak. It says, "Why did I stay? Why did I trust? Why did I care so much? Why am I not stronger?" But self-love answers gently. It says, "I stayed because I hoped. I trusted because my heart was open. I cared because I am human. I am learning. I can choose differently now." This gentle voice is part of your healing. It helps you stop turning your own pain against yourself. Loving yourself first means you become a safe place for your own emotion. So if you feel sadness, you do not shame it. If you feel anger, you listen for the boundary underneath it. If you feel fear, you comfort the part of you that is afraid. If you feel longing, you do not use it as proof that you must return to what hurt you. You allow feelings to move through you without letting them control your choices. You let your heart be honest, but you let your soul be wise. There is a deep peace that comes when you stop arguing with your own needs. You need care. You need respect. You need honesty. You need emotional safety. These needs are not too much. They are not signs of weakness. They are signs that your heart is alive. When you love yourself first, you stop apologizing for needing what helps your spirit feel safe. You stop trying to earn the right to be treated with care. You also stop confusing being chosen with being loved. Someone can choose your presence and still not care for your heart. Someone can want access to you and still not honor you. Someone can enjoy your love and still not be ready to love you well. Being chosen is not enough if being chosen still hurts. Loving yourself first helps you ask for more than attention. It helps you ask for peace, honesty, kindness, and steady care. And if those things are not there, self-love helps you step back without losing your softness. It helps you release without turning bitter. It helps you understand that not every connection is meant to continue. Some connections teach you where you forgot yourself. Some connections show you the places in you that still seek approval. Some connections wake up the old wound so it can finally be healed. The pain is real, but it can also become a doorway. It can lead you back to the love you kept giving away. Love yourself first by choosing thoughts that do not harm you. Stop repeating, "I was not enough." Begin to say, "I was always worthy of healthy love." Stop repeating, "They left because I failed." Begin to say, "Their choices do not define my value." Stop repeating, "I cannot be happy without them." Begin to say, "My peace can return to me." Stop repeating, "I lost everything." Begin to say, "I am finding myself again." The words you speak inside your mind matter. They shape the way your heart feels. They shape the way your body carries pain. They shape the way you walk through the next part of your life. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Speak to yourself like someone who deserves patience. Speak to yourself like someone who is healing, not failing. Every gentle word becomes medicine for the places inside you that felt unwanted. Loving yourself first also means you stop making your future depend on the person you are releasing. Your life is not over because someone could not love you well. Your joy is not gone forever because something ended. Your peace is not impossible because your heart has been hurt. Life still has ways to reach you. Love still has ways to find you. Your soul still has paths you have not walked yet. Do not close your future around one chapter of pain. You are allowed to believe in love again, but this time let love begin with you. Let it begin with the way you choose yourself when you are lonely. Let it begin with the way you protect your peace when old memories return. Let it begin with the way you honor your body when it feels tired. Let it begin with the way you stop chasing and start listening. Let it begin with the quiet promise that you will never again abandon yourself to be accepted by someone else. There is nothing selfish about becoming whole. There is nothing selfish about healing. There is nothing selfish about wanting a peaceful life. There is nothing selfish about walking away from confusion. There is nothing selfish about saying, I love you, but I love myself too. That sentence may be the beginning of your freedom. It does not attack anyone. It does not blame anyone. It simply tells the truth. You are part of the love you give. You are part of the life you are building. You are part of the peace you seek. Let self-love become the ground under your feet. Let it become the voice that steadies you when you feel tempted to return to what hurt you. Let it become the warmth that reminds you that you are not empty without another person's approval. Let it become the quiet light that guides you back whenever you forget your worth. Self-love is not a final place you reach and never leave. It is a practice of returning to truth, returning to care, returning to peace, returning to yourself. You can still love others. You can still be kind. You can still forgive. You can still wish good for people. But now let your love include you. Let your kindness include you. Let your forgiveness include you. Let your patience include you. Let your peace include you. You are not here to be drained in the name of love. You are here to be filled by love, guided by love, and strengthened by love. And the love that begins within you will never abandon you. It will stay when others leave. It will speak when others are silent. It will comfort when others do not understand. It will guide when the path feels unclear. It will remind you again and again that you are not too much, not too late, not too broken, and not forgotten. You are healing. You are returning. You are learning to let them go without letting go of yourself. You are learning to love yourself first, and in that love, your peace is beginning to come back home. Waiting for someone to change can quietly wear down the heart. It does not always happen in a loud way. It happens slowly, in the private places no one sees. It happens when you keep hoping this time will be different. It happens when you forgive, then feel the same pain again. It happens when you listen to beautiful words, but the actions do not become steady. It happens when you keep opening your heart to the same door, hoping love will finally meet you there with care. At first, waiting can feel like hope. You tell yourself they are learning. You tell yourself they are not ready yet. You tell yourself they have been hurt too. You tell yourself that if you stay kind, if you stay patient, if you stay understanding, maybe they will finally see your heart. Maybe they will finally understand how much you have given. Maybe they will finally become gentle with the part of you they have been hurting. But after a while, hope can become heavy. It can turn into a quiet ache. You begin to live between what they say and what they do. You begin to hold on to the small moments of warmth because they help you forget the long moments of pain. You begin to search for proof that things are getting better, even when your spirit already feels tired. You begin to call the little good moments enough because you're afraid to face the truth that your heart has been surviving on very little. This kind of waiting can take so much from you. It can take your rest. It can take your joy. It can take your clear mind. It can take your confidence. It can make you wonder if you are asking for too much, when really you are only asking for peace, honesty, care, and simple respect. It can make you doubt your own feelings. It can make you question the pain you know you feel. It can make you stay silent when your heart is begging to be heard. You may have waited for an apology. Not just any apology, but the kind that feels real. The kind that shows they understand what they did. The kind that brings relief to the places inside you that were left confused. You may have waited for them to come back with a softer voice, a clearer heart, a deeper care. You may have waited for them to say, "I see you. I understand now. I did not mean to make your heart feel so alone." And maybe those words never came. Or maybe they came, but nothing truly changed. Maybe the apology sounded good for a moment, but the same pattern returned. Maybe they knew how to speak softly when they feared losing you, but they did not know how to live softly when they had you. Maybe the words gave your heart hope, but the actions gave your spirit the same old pain. This is why waiting becomes painful. Not because your love is weak, but because your love keeps being asked to carry more than it should. Your heart keeps being asked to stay open in a place where it does not feel fully safe. Your spirit keeps being asked to trust what keeps breaking its trust. Your body keeps being asked to relax around something that keeps making it tense. And deep inside, you begin to feel divided. One part of you wants to believe. Another part of you knows it is tired. There is nothing wrong with wanting someone to grow. There is nothing wrong with believing in the good inside another heart. There is nothing wrong with hoping that love can become healthier. But there is a difference between seeing someone's potential and living your whole life aiding for that potential to become real. Potential is not the same as peace. A promise is not the same as change. A soft moment is not the same as safety, and love that only exists in future hope can leave your present heart feeling empty. You deserve love that meets you in the now. You deserve care that does not only appear when you are ready to leave. You deserve kindness that does not disappear when things become uncomfortable. You deserve respect that does not need to be begged for. You deserve a connection where your heart can rest, not one where your heart has to keep explaining why it hurts. Waiting for someone to change can make you forget that you also have a life to live. While you are waiting, seasons pass. While you are waiting, your own dreams become quiet. While you are waiting, your spirit keeps circling the same pain. You may stop asking yourself what you need because you are so focused on what they might become. You may stop listening to your own heart because you are always listening for signs that they are finally changing. But your life is not meant to be placed on hold until someone else becomes ready. Your peace is not meant to wait outside someone else's growth. Your healing is not meant to depend on another person's timing. You are allowed to heal before they understand. You are allowed to move forward before they apologize. You are allowed to choose yourself before they become the person you wish they would be. Sometimes the hardest part is accepting that you cannot love someone into readiness. You cannot care someone into honesty. You cannot explain someone into respect. You cannot give enough to make someone value what they are not ready to value. You cannot lose yourself deeply enough to make someone finally see your worth. Your love may be strong, but it is not meant to do the work another soul refuses to do. This truth can hurt at first. It can feel like your heart is being asked to release a dream, not just a person. You may not only be letting go of what happened, you may be letting go of what you hoped would happen. You may be letting go of the future you imagined. You may be letting go of the version of love you kept seeing in your mind. That is why the pain feels deep. You are not only grieving what was, you are grieving what never became. Be gentle with yourself in that grief. Do not shame yourself for hoping. Do not blame yourself for loving. Do not tell yourself you were foolish because you believed in change. A soft heart believes in healing. A loving heart sees possibility. A patient heart gives chances. There is nothing wrong with the love you carried. The lesson is not that you should never love deeply again. The lesson is that your deep love must also include your own well-being. You can love someone and still stop waiting for them. You can care about their healing and still choose your own. You can wish them peace and still admit that their path is not yours to carry. You can accept that they have their own essence, their own timing, their own choices, and their own inner work. You can release the need to stand beside them while they keep hurting you. Your love does not have to become a cage around your life. Waiting becomes painful when it teaches you to accept less and call it loyalty. It teaches you to lower your needs so the connection can continue. It teaches you to be grateful for small signs of care while ignoring the bigger pattern of pain. It teaches you to stay in hope instead of standing in truth. But your spirit is asking for truth now, not a truth that makes you harsh, a truth that makes you free. Ask your heart softly, what has this waiting cost me? Has it cost you sleep? Has it cost you peace? Has it cost you self-trust? Has it cost you the feeling of being enough? Has it cost you your natural joy? Has it cost you your calm mind? Has it made you feel like you are always almost loved, almost chosen, almost safe, almost seen? If the answer is yes, then your soul is not asking you to hate them. Your soul is asking you to come home. There is a quiet sadness in realizing that someone may not become who you needed them to be, but there is also a quiet freedom in no longer making your life depend on that change. When you stop waiting, you begin to breathe differently. You begin to notice how much energy was tied to hoping. You begin to see how many thoughts were spent on wondering. You begin to understand how tired your heart had become from standing at the same closed door. You do not have to stand there anymore. You do not have to keep knocking on a heart that is not ready to open with care. You do not have to keep proving that your love is real. You do not have to keep waiting for someone to understand what your silence, tears, patience, and kindness have already shown. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to let life speak. You are allowed to stop turning your pain into another chance for someone else. This does not mean you become angry. This does not mean you decide they are bad. This does not mean you erase everything good. It means you stop making the good moments an excuse to ignore the pain. It means you stop making someone's potential more important than your peace. It means you stop giving the future more power than the present. It means you finally say, I cannot keep living inside what might become. I must honor what is. What is real will not need you to betray yourself to keep it alive. What is healthy will not require you to keep breaking your own heart. What is loving will not make you feel like peace is always out of reach. Love may have challenges, but it should not make you feel constantly unsafe inside yourself. Love may need patience, but it should not ask you to stay where your spirit is slowly fading. Your heart may still want them to change. That is human. You may still imagine them coming back with new understanding. You may still wonder if releasing them means losing the chance for everything to become beautiful. But what is truly meant for your peace will not require you to abandon your own soul while waiting. What is meant for you will not punish you for choosing yourself. And if someone must lose access to you before they understand your value, then your value was never missing. Their awareness was. You are not here to be someone's lesson at the cost of your own peace. You are not here to be the place they return to whenever they feel empty, only to leave you empty again. You are not here to keep proving the worth of a heart that was already worthy before they arrived. You are here to remember that love is sacred, but so are you. Let the waiting soften inside you. Let the old hope stop ruling your choices. Let the need for them to become different loosen from your spirit. You can release the future you imagined and still trust that life has not forgotten you. You can grieve what did not become and still believe something better can grow. You can close your hands around your own peace instead of holding tightly to someone else's unfinished growth. Today, you are allowed to stop waiting for someone to change before you begin healing. You are allowed to stop waiting for an apology before you feel free. You are allowed to stop waiting for closure before you come back to yourself. You are allowed to stop waiting for love to arrive from the place that kept hurting you. Your peace can begin now. Your healing can begin now. Your life can begin again now. There is a quiet place inside you that has never stopped calling your name. Even when your mind was full, even when your heart was hurting, even when you were waiting, chasing, explaining, hoping, and trying to understand. That quiet place remained. It did not leave you. It did not judge you. It did not stop loving you. It simply waited beneath all the noise, whispering, come back to yourself, come back to peace. Your peace is not as far away as it feels. It may feel distant because pain has been loud. It may feel hidden because fear has taken up so much space. It may feel lost because you have spent so much of your energy looking outside yourself for comfort. But peace is not gone. It is covered. It is covered by worry, old hurt, disappointment, and the belief that you cannot feel whole unless someone else changes. But beneath all of that, your peace is still alive. You do not need to become a different person to feel peace again. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to have every answer. You do not need to understand why everything happened the way it did. You do not need to make sense of every painful word, every silence, every ending, every broken promise. Peace does not always come from understanding everything. Sometimes peace comes when you stop forcing your heart to carry what it cannot solve. Your peace is calling you back from overthinking. It is calling you back from the long mental conversations that happen inside you when no one else is listening. It is calling you back from trying to explain your heart to someone who may never understand it in the way you need. It is calling you back from checking, waiting, wondering, and searching for signs. It is calling you back from the old habit of making another person the center of your inner world. Come back to yourself. Come back to the part of you that existed before the pain became so heavy. Come back to the part of you that knew how to laugh without wondering who might leave. Come back to the part of you that enjoyed simple things. Come back to the part of you that had dreams, softness, curiosity, and light. That part of you is not gone. It has only been waiting for safety. Your peace is not asking you to forget. It is not asking you to pretend you were not hurt. It is not asking you to become untouched by what happened. It is only asking you to stop building a home inside the hurt. It is asking you to stop living in the same old wound. It is asking you to stop letting yesterday decide how much peace you are allowed to feel today. You can honor what happened without letting it own you. You can admit that it hurt without staying inside the pain forever. You can remember the lesson without carrying the weight every day. You can accept that something changed you without believing it destroyed you. You are still here. Your heart is still beating. Your spirit is still reaching for light. Your peace is still possible. Sometimes peace begins as a very small feeling, not a big wave, not a sudden change, not a perfect calm that takes away everything at once. It may begin as a little softness in your chest, a quiet moment when you do not need to check, a simple choice to speak kindly to yourself, a gentle decision not to return to the same thought again and again, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, you can be okay without what you thought you needed. Let that small feeling matter. Do not dismiss it because it is not huge. Peace often returns quietly. It enters softly because your heart has been through enough. It does not need to rush. It does not need to force its way in. It comes like morning light through a closed curtain, little by little, reminding you that darkness was never the end of the story. Your peace is calling you back to your body. For so long, pain may have lived in your thoughts, but your body also carried it. Your shoulders may have become tight from holding too much. Your stomach may have carried worry. Your chest may have carried grief. Your face may have held the strength you used to hide what you felt. Your whole body may have been trying to protect you while your heart kept hoping. Now, let your body know that you are returning to safety. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw rest. Let your hands loosen. Let your chest feel a little more open. Let your body understand that it does not need to stay ready for pain all the time. You are not in the old moment anymore. You are here. You are with yourself. You are choosing peace in this moment. Peace does not mean nothing is wrong. Peace means you are no longer giving everything wrong full control over your inner world. Peace means the pain may still be there, but it is no longer the only voice. Peace means you can feel sadness and still be kind to yourself. Peace means you can miss someone and still not return to what hurt you. Peace means you can feel the ache and still choose not to abandon yourself. Your peace is calling you away from the need to be chosen by someone who made you question yourself. It is calling you away from the belief that their attention is the proof of your worth. It is calling you away from the fear that you are empty without them. It is calling you into a deeper truth. You belong to yourself first. You are whole even while healing. You are worthy even while grieving. You are loved by life even when one person could not love you well. There is a part of you that knows this, a wise, quiet part, a part that has watched you survive things you thought would break you, a part that has seen you cry and still rise, a part that has seen you lose and still continue. That part is speaking now. It is not loud. It does not need to argue. It simply knows that you are ready for a softer life. A softer life does not mean a perfect life. It means a life where you stop choosing what keeps breaking your peace. It means a life where you listen when your spirit says something feels wrong. It means a life where you no longer make your heart beg for what should be given with care. It means a life where you allow love, but you do not allow yourself to disappear inside it. Your peace is calling you back to simple truth. You are allowed to want calm. You are allowed to want respect. You are allowed to want steady love. You are allowed to want honesty. You are allowed to want to sleep without a heavy heart. You are allowed to want a life that does not keep your emotions tied to someone else's confusion. These are not selfish desires. They are signs that your soul is ready to heal. For a long time, you may have ignored your peace because you thought love required sacrifice. And yes, love sometimes asks us to be patient. Love sometimes asks us to grow. Love sometimes asks us to listen and soften. But love does not ask you to give up your whole self. Love does not ask you to live in fear. Love does not ask you to accept pain as your daily home. Love does not ask you to keep choosing someone who keeps choosing your absence, your silence, or your suffering. Your peace is calling you back from the belief that you must earn love through pain. You do not need to suffer to prove your love is real. You do not need to stay hurt to prove you are loyal. You do not need to keep holding on to prove you care. Real love does not require you to destroy your own heart as proof. Your caring was already real. Your effort was already real. Your heart already gave what it could. Now your peace is asking for its turn. Let peace have a place in your life again. Let it enter your mornings. Let it enter your nights. Let it enter the way you speak to yourself. Let it enter the way you choose what deserves your energy. Let it enter the moments when old memories return. Let it enter the place where fear used to speak the loudest. You do not have to fight the old feeling. You can simply stop giving it your whole life. You are coming back home to yourself every time you choose not to chase. You are coming back home every time you tell yourself the truth. You are coming back home every time you stop making excuses for what hurts you. You are coming back home every time you rest instead of reaching for pain. You are coming back home every time you remember that your spirit deserves gentleness. There is no need to punish yourself for wandering away from your own peace. You were doing what you knew. You were loving with the tools you had. You were hoping from the place inside you that wanted safety. You were trying to make sense of pain with a heart that still believed in love. But now you know more. Now you are seeing more clearly. Now you can choose differently with kindness. Your peace is not angry with you. Your peace is not saying, "Why did you take so long?" Your peace is simply opening the door and saying, "You can come in now." It is gentle. It is patient. It is steady. It does not need you to be perfect before you enter. It only asks you to stop running from yourself. Come back to the truth that you are enough. Come back to the truth that you do not need to be chosen by the wrong person to become worthy. Come back to the truth that your heart is sacred. Come back to the truth that letting go is not the end of love, but the beginning of peace within you. Come back to the truth that your life still belongs to you. There may still be moments when you feel weak. There may still be moments when you want to return to the old pattern. There may still be moments when the silence feels heavy. But those moments do not mean you are failing. They mean you are healing. They mean your heart is learning a new way to feel safe. They mean you are no longer letting pain decide your direction. Each time you choose peace, the old attachment loses a little power. Each time you choose yourself, the wound becomes a little less in charge. Each time you stop chasing what hurts you, your spirit becomes a little more free. This is how you return, not by forcing yourself to feel nothing, not by becoming hard, not by pretending, but by choosing again and again to place your peace in your own hands. Your peace has been waiting beneath the fear, beneath the tears, beneath the unanswered questions, beneath the longing, beneath the disappointment. It has been there like a quiet light, and now that light is calling you back, not to the old version of yourself, but to a wiser, softer, more loving version. A version that knows love is beautiful, but peace is sacred too. A version that knows caring for someone does not mean losing yourself. A version that knows he heart can stay open without staying wounded. Let yourself return. Let the noise become softer. Let the old need to be chosen lose its grip. Let the part of you that has been waiting outside your own heart walk back in. Your peace is not gone. Your peace is calling. And every time you choose yourself with love, you answer that call. The fear of being alone can make the heart hold on to things it has already outgrown. It can make you stay where you do not feel safe. It can make you accept less than love because something feels better than nothing. It can make silence feel like danger. It can make distance feel like rejection. It can make the thought of letting go feel like stepping into an empty room with no promise that warmth will ever return. But being alone is not the same as being unloved. Being alone is not the same as being forgotten. Being alone is not proof that something is wrong with you. Sometimes being alone is the space where your spirit can finally hear itself again. Sometimes being alone is the place where your heart stops performing and starts healing. Sometimes being alone is not a punishment. It is a sacred return to yourself. You may fear being alone because you have known the pain of feeling unwanted. You may fear being alone because someone's absence once made you feel small. You may fear being alone because you tied your worth to another person's presence. You may fear being alone because quiet moments bring up feelings you have been trying not to feel. This fear deserves kindness. It does not need shame. It needs understanding. When you have spent a long time reaching for someone else to make you feel safe, your own company may feel unfamiliar. You may not know how to sit with yourself without searching for a message, a sign, a memory, or a reason to return. You may feel restless when there is no one to chase. You may feel lost when there is no one to fix. You may feel empty when you are no longer giving all your energy to someone else. But that empty feeling is not the truth of who you are. It is the space where your energy is coming back. At first, peace can feel like emptiness if chaos has been familiar. Calm can feel strange if your heart has lived in uncertainty. Self-love can feel quiet if you are used to proving your worth. This is why alone time may feel uncomfortable in the beginning. Not because it is wrong, but because your body is learning a new kind of safety. It is learning that you do not need emotional noise to feel connected. It is learning that you can be with yourself and not be abandoned. The fear says, if I let them go, I will have no one. But your soul says, if I keep holding on to what hurts me, I will keep losing myself. The fear says, what if no one comes? But your soul says, I am already here. The fear says, what if I am not loved again? But your soul says, love begins within me, and life still has ways to find me. The fear speaks from old pain. Your soul speaks from deeper truth. Being alone for a season can become the place where you remember your own voice. Maybe your voice became quiet because you were always trying to keep peace with someone else. Maybe your needs became small because you were afraid they would push people away. Maybe your dreams became delayed because your energy was tied to another person's mood. In sacred aloneness, those parts of you begin to rise again. Slowly you begin to ask, what do I feel? What do I need? What brings me peace? What kind of life is calling me now? This is not loneliness. This is listening. Loneliness says, I am missing someone. Listening says, I am finding myself. Loneliness says, I need someone to fill this space. Listening says, this space is where I meet my own heart. Loneliness feels like a wound. Listening becomes a doorway. And even if you feel both at the same time, you can be gentle with yourself as you learn the difference. You do not need to rush to fill the space left by what you are releasing. Sometimes the heart needs room before it can trust again. Sometimes the spirit needs quiet before it can hear life clearly. Sometimes your energy needs to return to you before you can share it in a healthy way. Do not be afraid of the space. The space is not empty in the way fear says it is. It is full of healing that has not yet spoken loudly. In that space, you can begin to care for yourself in simple ways. You can speak to yourself with warmth. You can let your body rest. You can stop checking for the person who kept you emotionally unsettled. You can make small choices that bring peace back into your day. You can remember what music softens you, what words comfort you, what places calm you, what thoughts strengthen you. You can begin to build a life that does not depend on another person's attention to feel meaningful. The fear of being alone often comes from the belief that love only counts when it comes from someone else. But there is a love within you that has been waiting for your attention. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is steady. It is the love that helps you get through the day. It is the love that says, eat something kind. Rest your body. Stop reading the old message. Do not return to what keeps hurting you tonight. You are safe with me. This love may feel small at first, but it grows every time you choose yourself. You are not empty because someone is no longer close. You are not less beautiful because someone could not stay. You are not less worthy because someone did not know how to love you. Their absence does not remove your value. Their silence does not erase your light. Their inability to meet your heart does not mean your heart asked for too much. You are still whole, even if you are still healing. Being alone can teach you that your own presence is enough to begin again. Not enough in a lonely, closed way. Enough in a sacred way. Enough to survive. Enough to heal. Enough to make good choices. Enough to stop chasing. Enough, to build peace. Enough to remember that your life is not over because one connection changed. Enough to trust that what is truly aligned with your spirit will not require you to abandon yourself. You may feel afraid that if you let go, you will be forgotten. But the right love does not require you to hold pain to remain visible. The right people do not need you to suffer to prove your worth. The right path does not ask you to stay where your soul is shrinking. If someone forgets you because you chose peace, that does not mean your peace was wrong. It means their place in your life may have been smaller than the place you gave them in your heart. You may feel afraid that no one will love you the way you loved them, but your love was not wasted. It showed you your depth. It showed you your tenderness. It showed you your ability to care. Now that same love must come home to you. The love you gave outward must become the love you live inward. The patience you gave them must become patience for yourself. The understanding you gave them must become understanding for your own healing. The kindness you gave them must become the way you speak to your own heart. There is beauty in learning to be alone without feeling abandoned. You begin to understand that your own energy can be peaceful. You begin to enjoy moments that once felt too quiet. You begin to feel your body relax because it is no longer waiting for the next emotional storm. You begin to find comfort in your own thoughts when those thoughts become gentle. You begin to realize that solitude is not the enemy. Solitude can be the soft room where your soul becomes whole again. This does not mean you will never need people. You are human. You are allowed to need love, connection, friendship, care, and warmth. Self-love does not mean you must never lean on anyone. It means you stop leaning on what keeps letting you fall. It means you stop calling an unsafe connection your only shelter. It means you learn to stand with yourself so that when love comes again, you do not enter it from fear. You enter it from wholeness. When you fear being alone, you may feel tempted to return to what is familiar. Familiar pain can feel safer than unknown peace. The mind may say, "At least I know this person. At least I know this pattern. At least I know what to expect." But you were not made to keep choosing pain simply because you recognize it. You are allowed to choose a new kind of life, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. You are allowed to learn peace, even if your heart shakes while learning. The unknown is not always danger. Sometimes the unknown is where your healing lives. Sometimes the unknown is where healthier love can find you. Sometimes the unknown is where your true self has been waiting. You do not need to know every next step to stop walking in the old circle. You only need to honor the truth that the old circle has hurt you enough. Let the fear of being alone soften to trust. Trust that your heart can survive silence. Trust that your spirit can grow in quiet. Trust that life can meet you in ways you cannot yet see. Trust that space does not mean emptiness forever. Trust that letting go of what drains you creates room for what nourishes you. Trust that the love meant to walk with your peace will not require you to chase it from a place of fear. You are allowed to be alone and still be held by life. You are allowed to be alone and still be deeply worthy. You are allowed to be alone and still be moving toward love. You are allowed to be alone and still be protected. You are allowed to be alone and still be becoming someone softer, wiser, and more at peace than before. Let this season become sacred. Let it teach you that your own heart is a safe place. Let it show you that your peace does not need another person's permission. Let it remind you that the love you seek outside must first feel welcome inside. Let it help you rebuild the parts of yourself that became tired from waiting. Let it bring you back to simple joys, quiet strength, and gentle self-trust. You do not have to fear the quiet. The quiet is where your soul can speak. You do not have to fear the space. The space is where your peace can grow. You do not have to fear your own company. Your own company can become warm, steady, and kind. You do not have to fear letting go, Letting go is not leaving yourself alone. Letting go is choosing not to leave yourself anymore. The person you are returning to is you. The love you are learning is your own. The peace that is coming back is yours. And as you release the fear of being alone, you begin to understand something deeply healing. You were never truly empty. You were only away from yourself. Now you are coming back. Now you are learning to stay with your own heart. Now you are becoming the safe place you once searched for in someone else. Forgive yourself for staying longer than your peace could carry. Forgive yourself for hoping when your heart was tired. Forgive yourself for giving another chance when a part of you already knew you were hurting. Forgive yourself for believing the words, waiting for the change, and holding on to the small signs that made you feel there was still something to save. You were not foolish. You were not weak. You were loving from the place inside you that still believed love could become safe. You stayed because you cared. You stayed because your heart saw something beautiful, or something wounded, or something unfinished. You stayed because you wanted to believe that the person, the connection, or the situation could become softer with time. You stayed because leaving felt painful. You stayed because a part of you feared that if you walked away, you would be giving up on love. But staying in pain is not the same as honoring love. Sometimes staying too long only means your heart needed more time to accept what your spirit already knew. Do not punish yourself for the time it took. Healing is not always quick. Truth does not always enter the heart in a straight line. Sometimes you need to hear the same silence many times before you stop waiting for words. Sometimes you need to feel the same disappointment many times before you stop expecting a different result. Sometimes the heart needs to slowly loosen its grip because it was attached to a dream, not only a person. So be gentle with the part of you that needed time. Maybe you look back and wonder why you ignored the signs. Maybe you wonder why you stayed after you felt unseen. Maybe you wonder why you accepted less, forgave too much, or kept giving when your own heart felt empty. But at that time, you were doing what you knew how to do. You were trying to survive the pain in the way that felt possible. You were trying to protect the hope that kept you going. You were trying to keep love alive because your heart did not yet know how to choose peace without feeling guilty. There is no shame in learning slowly. There is no shame in loving deeply. There is no shame in needing time to release what mattered to you. You are human. Your heart is not a machine that can turn feelings off because the mind understands the truth. The heart needs care. The heart needs space. The heart needs patience. And now, instead of using your past choices to hurt yourself, you can use them to understand yourself more deeply. You did not stay because you had no worth. You stayed because you forgot your worth for a while. You stayed because something inside you believed love had to be earned. You stayed because you may have learned long ago that being chosen was more important than being peaceful. You stayed because you may have believed that if someone hurt you, it was your job to love harder, explain better, become easier, or wait longer. But now you are learning a new truth. Love does not ask you to abandon yourself. Forgive the version of you who did not know this yet. Forgive the version of you who thought patience meant staying silent through pain. Forgive the version of you who confused being needed with being loved. Forgive the version of you who believed that if you became more understanding, less emotional, more giving, or more available, things would finally feel safe. That version of you was not wrong for wanting love. That version of you was longing for safety. That version of you deserves tenderness, not blame. Speak softly to that part of yourself. Tell that part, I understand why you stayed. I understand why you hoped. I understand why it was hard to leave. I am not angry with you anymore. Let those words move through your heart like warm light. You do not need to keep fighting your own past. You do not need to keep turning memory into punishment. You do not need to keep hurting yourself for the pain you already lived through. The person you were then needed love. The person you are now can give it. The person you were then felt scared. The person you are now can bring safety. The person you were then kept reaching outside for peace. The person you are now is learning to create peace within. This is healing, not hating your past self, not shaming your old choices, not making yourself wrong for caring. Healing is placing kindness where blame used to live. You may feel grief for the time you spent waiting. You may feel sadness for the days your mind was filled with worry. You may feel heaviness for the nights your heart felt alone. You may feel regret for the energy you gave to something that did not return care in the way you needed. Let that grief be seen, but do not let it become a weapon against you. Grief is proof that something mattered. Regret is often the heart realizing it deserved better. Let that realization guide you, not wound you further. Your past choices are not here to define you. They are here to teach you. They taught you what happens when you ignore your peace. They taught you what happens when love is not joined with self-respect. They taught you how heavy it feels to keep giving from an empty place. They taught you that you cannot heal another person by losing yourself. They taught you that your heart needs care too. These lessons may have come through pain, but they can now become wisdom. Forgive yourself for hoping they would become different. Hope is not a sin. Hope is not foolish. Hope is a tender part of the human heart. But now your hope is changing direction. Instead of hoping someone else becomes gentle, you are hoping for your own peace. Instead of hoping the past changes, you are hoping your future becomes softer. Instead of hoping someone returns with care, you are returning to yourself with care. This is a higher kind of hope, a hope that does not keep you trapped, a hope that helps you live. Forgive yourself for every time you went back in your mind. Forgive yourself for rereading, remembering, wondering, and missing. Forgive yourself for feeling attached even after you knew it hurt. Feelings do not disappear because you understand the truth. Sometimes the heart still reaches for what the soul is releasing. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are healing in layers. Some layers are soft. Some layers are heavy. But every time you choose peace again, you become more free. You do not need to hate the love you gave. The love you gave came from a real place. It showed your depth, your loyalty, your tenderness, your ability to care. Those are not bad things. The lesson is not to love less. The lesson is to love with yourself included. The lesson is to stop placing sacred love into places that cannot hold it with respect. The lesson is to let your heart remain open but not unprotected. Forgive yourself for thinking you had to earn care. You do not. You do not need to become quieter to be loved. You do not need to become smaller to be accepted. You do not need to overgive to be valued. You do not need to hide your pain to keep someone comfortable. You do not need to prove that you are worthy of kindness. Kindness should not require a performance. Respect should not require begging. Love should not require you to disappear. There is a gentle power in saying, I did the best I could with what I knew then, and now I choose differently. Let that sentence become a doorway. You do not have to stay trapped in the old choice because you made it before. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to see clearly. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to leave a pattern that once felt normal. You are allowed to become someone who no longer accepts what your past self accepted. Forgiveness toward yourself does not mean pretending nothing hurt. It means you stop adding more pain on top of pain. It means you stop saying, how could I? And begin saying, I understand now. It means you stop calling yourself weak and begin seeing how much strength it took to survive that emotional weight. It means you stop blaming yourself for not leaving sooner and begin honoring yourself for waking up now. You are waking up now. That matters. You are listening now. That matters. You are choosing peace now. That matters. You are learning to love yourself first now. That matters. The past does not get to take away the beauty of your return. The time you spent lost does not make your healing less holy. The pain you carried does not make you broken. It makes your return even more meaningful. Let the old shame loosen. Let the regret become wisdom. Let the sadness be held with care. Let the part of you that stayed too long feel loved instead of judged. You do not have to keep proving that you learn. The way you choose yourself now is proof. The way you protect your peace now is proof. The way you speak kindly to yourself now is proof. The way you no longer chase what hurts you is proof. Forgive yourself because you are worthy of peace. not because every choice was perfect. Forgive yourself because your heart has suffered enough. Forgive yourself because the future needs your energy more than the past needs your punishment. Forgive yourself because life is still open. Forgive yourself because love can still reach you. Forgive yourself because you are not the pain you stayed in. You are the soul that is now rising from it. Now it is time to call your energy back, not with anger, not with bitterness, not with the need to prove anything. Call it back with love. Call it back from every place where you left yourself waiting. Call it back from every thought that circled around someone else. Call it back from every silent question that kept your mind tired. Call it back from every memory that made you feel powerless. Your energy belongs with you. For too long, your energy may have been tied to another person's mood, message, silence, approval, or change. You may have given your whole inner world to what they did or did not do. When they were kind, you felt relief. When they were distant, you felt fear. When they gave attention, you felt chosen. When they pulled it away, you felt small. This is how energy becomes scattered. This is how the heart forgets its center. But your center is still within you. Your power is still within you. Your peace is still within you. It may have been covered by worry, but it was not destroyed. It may have been quiet beneath the pain, but it did not leave. You are not empty. You are not lost. You are not without strength. You are returning to the part of yourself that was always waiting beneath the noise. Reclaiming your energy means you stop giving your mind to what you cannot control. You stop trying to understand every action, every silence, every mood, every delay, every mixed signal. You stop making your body live in tension because another person cannot offer steadiness. You stop letting someone else's confusion become the weather inside your soul. You begin to say, my peace is mine, my mind is mine, my heart is mine, my life is mine. There is a quiet power in this. It is not loud. It does not need to announce itself. It does not need to win. It does not need revenge. It simply withdraws from what drains it. It stops feeding the old pattern. It stops explaining to ears that do not listen with care. It stops offering endless access to people who bring pain but not responsibility. It stops waiting outside closed doors. It turns inward and returns home. Your inner power grows each time you do not chase. It grows each time you do not beg for clarity from someone who keeps giving confusion. It grows each time you honor your feelings instead of making excuses for another person's behavior. It grows each time you choose rest over overthinking. It grows each time you allow your heart to miss someone without letting that feeling guide you back into pain. It grows each time you remember that love without peace is not the home your soul needs. You are allowed to take back the attention you gave away. Attention is powerful. What you keep feeding with your mind grows inside you. If you keep feeding the old wound, it stays loud. If you keep feeding the fear of being forgotten, it becomes stronger. If you keep feeding the thought that you are not enough, your heart begins to believe it. But now you can feed a new truth. You can feed peace. You can feed self-respect. You can feed healing. You can feed the belief that your life is bigger than this pain. Begin to place your attention on what brings you back to yourself. Place it on your body that carried you through hard days. Place it on your heart that still knows how to love. Place it on your spirit that still reaches for light. Place it on the small parts of your life that are still good, still gentle, still open. Place it on the future that has not been written yet. Place it on the truth that you are still becoming. You are not powerless because someone could not love you well. You are not powerless because something ended. You are not powerless because you were hurt. Your power is not in controlling another person. Your power is in choosing how you return to yourself. Your power is in deciding what you will no longer carry. Your power is in honoring the peace you used to ignore. Your power is in speaking to yourself with love when the old pain tries to speak louder. For a long time, you may have thought power meant holding on. You may have thought strength meant staying, trying, explaining, forgiving, and giving more. But sometimes true strength is the ability to let go without losing your softness. Sometimes true power is walking away from what your heart still wants because your spirit needs peace. Sometimes true courage is not asking, "How do I keep them?" but asking, "How do I keep myself?" Keep yourself. Keep your peace. Keep your dignity. Keep your tenderness. Keep your self-respect. Keep the light in your eyes. Keep the dreams that became quiet while you were waiting. Keep the parts of yourself that are ready to live again. You do not need to keep proving your love by giving away your whole life. The love that is meant for your highest good will not ask you to disappear. Reclaiming your energy also means releasing the need to be understood by everyone. Some people may never understand what they did. Some may understand and still not change. Some may remember the story in a way that protects their own comfort. Some may never see the nights you cried, the thoughts you carried, the patience you gave, or the way your spirit became tired. Let the need for their understanding loosen. Your healing does not require their agreement. You know what you felt. You know what it cost you. You know how heavy it became. You know the truth your body carried even when your mouth stayed quiet. That knowing is enough. You do not need to bring your pain into a courtroom of someone else's approval. You do not need them to confirm your hurt for your hurt to be real. You do not need them to name the wound before you are allowed to heal it. There is freedom in no longer trying to prove your pain. There is freedom in no longer explaining why something hurt you. There is freedom in no longer waiting for someone to say, "You were right to feel that way." You can give that validation to yourself. You can say, "My feelings mattered. My pain was real. My heart deserved care. I am allowed to heal now." Your energy returns when you stop living in the argument inside your mind. The argument that says maybe you should have done more. Maybe you should have said it differently. Maybe you should have waited longer. Maybe you should have been less emotional. Maybe you should have been easier to love. Let that argument soften. You were not hard to love. You were simply asking the wrong place for the kind of love it could not give. The right love will not make you hate your own heart. The right love will not punish you for feeling. The right love will not make you question basic kindness. The right love will not keep your spirit in fear. And even before that love appears in your outer life, you can begin to live it within yourself. You can become the first safe love your heart returns to. Place your hand over your heart in your own way without forcing anything, and let your inner voice become kind. Tell yourself, "I am here. I am listening. I am not leaving myself anymore." Let that message sink into the places that felt abandoned. Let your heart learn that your own presence is steady. Let your spirit feel that it does not need to chase safety outside anymore. Safety can begin here. Your inner power is also the power to choose what enters your mind. You may not control every thought that appears, but you can choose which thoughts become your home. When the old thought says, "I need them to be okay," answer gently, "I am learning to be okay with myself." When the old thought says, "I lost my chance," answer, "Life still has more for me." When the old thought says, "I am not enough," answer, "I was always worthy of honest love." When the old thought says, "I cannot let go," answer, "I can release what hurts me and still remain loving." These new thoughts may feel soft at first. Let them. Soft does not mean weak. Soft water can shape stone. Soft light can fill a room. Soft truth can change a life. You do not need harshness to heal. You need steady kindness. You need honest love. You need the daily choice to stop returning your energy to the place that drained it. Reclaim your mornings from the old pain. Reclaim your nights from the old worry. Reclaim your body from the tension of waiting. Reclaim your heart from the belief that love must be chased. Reclaim your mind from the endless searching for answers. Reclaim your spirit from the fear that you are alone. Every part of you that was scattered can return. Every part of you that was tired can rest. Every part of you that was silenced can be heard. You are not taking your power back to become hard. You are taking it back to become whole. You are taking it back so your love can become healthy. You are taking it back so your peace can become steady. You are taking it back so your future is no longer built around someone else's uncertainty. You are taking it back because your life is sacred. Your time is sacred. Your heart is sacred. Your energy is sacred. Let the old attachment lose its throne inside your mind. Let the person, memory, or pain become smaller than your peace. Let your own life become important again. Let your own needs matter again. Let your own joy matter again. Let your own voice rise again. You are not here only to love others. You are here to live, grow, heal, create, rest, receive, and become. There is a version of you that is no longer begging to be loved. A version of you that no longer waits beside emotional emptiness. A version of you that no longer mistakes confusion for passion. A version of you that no longer calls anxiety a sign of deep love. A version of you that feels calm in the presence of healthy care and uneasy around anything that repeats the old wound. That version is not far away. That version is waking up inside you now. Give your energy to that version. Give your attention to that future. Give your love to the part of you that is ready to rise. You have spent enough energy trying to keep what kept hurting you. Now spend energy becoming peaceful. Spend energy becoming clear. Spend energy becoming kind to yourself. Spend energy creating a life where your spirit can breathe freely. You are allowed to choose yourself without apology. You are allowed to stop answering the call of old pain. You are allowed to let silence remain silent. You are allowed to let the past stay behind you. You are allowed to move differently now. You are allowed to hold your head high, not because nothing hurt, but because you are no longer letting the hurt lead your life. Your power has always been within you. It was there when you cried. It was there when you waited. It was there when you felt weak. It was there when you did not know how to leave. It was there when you were learning the hard lesson. And now it is here as you choose peace. You are not becoming powerful for the first time. You are remembering the power that pain made you forget. I am worthy of love that feels safe. I am worthy of love that feels kind. I am worthy of love that does not make me lose myself. I am worthy of care that is steady. I am worthy of respect that does not need to be begged for. I am worthy of peace in my heart. I am worthy of softness in my life. I am worthy of honesty. I am worthy of tenderness. I am worthy because I exist. You are worthy of love that feels safe. You are worthy of love that feels kind. You are worthy of love that does not make you lose yourself. You are worthy of care that is steady. You are worthy of respect that does not need to be begged for. You are worthy of peace in your heart. You are worthy of softness in your life. You are worthy of honesty. You are worthy of tenderness. You are worthy because you exist. I choose peace over chasing. I choose peace over confusion. I choose peace over waiting in pain. I choose peace over fear. I choose peace over proving myself. I choose peace over old patterns. I choose peace over emotional heaviness. I choose peace over the need to be understood by everyone. I choose peace over the story that I am not enough. I choose peace because my spirit matters. You choose peace over chasing. You choose peace over confusion. You choose peace over waiting in pain. You choose peace over fear. You choose peace over proving yourself. You choose peace over old patterns. You choose peace over emotional heaviness. You choose peace over the need to be understood by everyone. You choose peace over the story that you are not enough. You choose peace because your spirit matters. I release what keeps hurting me. I release what keeps draining me. I release what keeps pulling me away from myself. I release the need to chase love. I release the need to explain my worth. I release the need to wait for someone else to become ready. Release the fear of being forgotten. I release the fear of being alone. I release the old belief that love must hurt. I release the pain I no longer need to carry. You release what keeps hurting you. You release what keeps draining you. You release what keeps pulling you away from yourself. You release the need to chase love. You release the need to explain your worth. You release the need to wait for someone else to become ready. You release the fear of being forgotten. You release the fear of being alone. You release the old belief that love must hurt. You release the pain you no longer need to carry. I am safe with myself. I am safe in my own heart. I am safe to feel what I feel. I am safe to choose peace. I am safe to let go. I am safe to stop chasing. I am safe to honor my needs. I am safe to protect my energy. I am safe to begin again. I am safe to come home to myself. You are safe with yourself. You are safe in your own heart. You are safe to feel what you feel. You are safe to choose peace. You are safe to let go. You are safe to stop chasing. You are safe to honor your needs. You are safe to protect your energy. You are safe to begin again. You are safe to come home to yourself. My heart is healing. My mind is becoming calm. My body is learning safety. My spirit is returning to peace. My energy is coming back to me. My worth is becoming clear to me. My self-love is growing. My sadness is softening. My fear is losing power. My life is opening again. Your heart is healing. Your mind is becoming calm. Your body is learning safety. Your spirit is returning to peace. Your energy is coming back to you. Your worth is becoming clear to you. Your self-love is growing. Your sadness is softening. Your fear is losing power. Your life is opening again. I forgive myself for staying too long. I forgive myself for hoping. I forgive myself for caring deeply. I forgive myself for not knowing then what I know now. I forgive myself for accepting less than I deserved. I forgive myself for giving from an empty place. I forgive myself for forgetting my worth. I forgive myself for the choices I made from fear. I forgive myself with kindness. I forgive myself and choose peace now. You forgive yourself for staying too long. You forgive yourself for hoping. You forgive yourself for caring deeply. You forgive yourself for not knowing then what you know now. You forgive yourself for accepting less than you deserved. You forgive yourself for giving from an empty place. You forgive yourself for forgetting your worth. You forgive yourself for the choices you made from fear. You forgive yourself with kindness. You forgive yourself and choose peace now. I no longer chase what does not choose peace with me. I no longer shrink to be accepted. I no longer ignore my heart to keep someone close. I no longer call confusion love. I no longer call pain loyalty. I no longer wait outside my own life. I no longer leave myself for another person. I no longer make my worth depend on attention. I no longer give my energy to what keeps draining me. I no longer betray my peace. You no longer chase what does not choose peace with you. You no longer shrink to be accepted. You no longer ignore your heart to keep someone close. You no longer call confusion love. You no longer call pain loyalty. You no longer wait outside your own life. You no longer leave yourself for another person. You no longer make your worth depend on attention. You no longer give your energy to what keeps draining you. You no longer betray your peace. I return to myself with love. I return to myself with patience. I return to myself with care. I return to myself with honesty. I return to myself with softness. I return to myself with trust. I return to myself with peace. I return to myself with strength. I return to myself with forgiveness. I return to myself because I am worthy. You return to yourself with love. You return to yourself with patience. You return to yourself with care. You return to yourself with honesty. You return to yourself with softness. You return to yourself with trust. You return to yourself with peace. You return to yourself with strength. You return to yourself with forgiveness. You return to yourself because you are worthy. I allow love to begin within me. I allow peace to grow within me. I allow my heart to soften without returning to pain. I allow my life to become calm. I allow my spirit to be free. I allow old attachments to lose power. I allow healthy love to find me in the right way. I allow myself to rest from chasing. I allow myself to receive kindness. I allow myself to be whole. You allow love to begin within you. You allow peace to grow within you. You allow your heart to soften without returning to pain. You allow your life to become calm. You allow your spirit to be free. You allow old attachments to lose power. You allow healthy love to find you in the right way. You allow yourself to rest from chasing. You allow yourself to receive kindness. You allow yourself to be whole. I trust the life that is guiding me back to peace. I trust the wisdom growing inside me. I trust the quiet truth in my heart. I trust that letting go can be loving. I trust that my peace matters. I trust that I am not being left behind. I trust that my healing has meaning. I trust that love can come without pain. I trust that I am safe to move forward. I trust myself now. You trust the life that is guiding you back to peace. You trust the wisdom growing inside you. You trust the quiet truth in your heart. You trust that letting go can be loving. You trust that your peace matters. You trust that you are not being left behind. You trust that your healing has meaning. You trust that love can come without pain. You trust that you are safe to move forward. You trust yourself now. A new life begins when you stop chasing what was never meant to be held by fear. It begins quietly, not with noise, not with a sudden answer, not with someone returning to finally make you feel whole. It begins in the moment you turn back toward yourself and decide that your peace is no longer something you will trade for uncertain love. It begins when you stop running after what keeps moving away and start standing with the part of you that has been waiting for your care. When you stop chasing, you may feel the silence first. The space may feel wide. The mind may look for the old pattern. The heart may wonder what to do without the waiting, the checking, the hoping, the explaining. This does not mean you made the wrong choice. It means your energy is learning a new direction. It means your heart is no longer living around someone else's distance. It means your spirit is finally being given room to breathe. Chasing can become so familiar that peace feels strange at first. You may have become used to searching for signs, used to wondering how someone feels, used to trying to be chosen, used to making your needs smaller, used to waiting for a little warmth after long emotional coldness. So when you stop, the quiet can feel uncomfortable. But that quiet is not empty. It is the beginning of freedom. In that quiet, you begin to hear yourself again. You begin to hear the truth beneath the fear. You begin to hear the needs you ignored. You begin to hear the dreams you placed aside. You begin to hear the gentle voice inside that says, I am still here. This voice may not be loud at first, but it is steady. It has been waiting for you beneath the noise of chasing. A new life begins when you stop asking, how can I make them choose me? And begin asking, how can I choose myself with love? This question changes everything. It brings your energy home. It moves your attention away from what you cannot control and places it back on what is sacred within you. It reminds you that your worth is not proven by someone's return. Your worth is not proven by someone's regret. Your worth is not proven by being missed. Your worth is already true. When you stop chasing, you begin to see love more clearly. You begin to understand that love should not feel like emotional hunger. Love should not make you feel like you are always reaching for a place to rest. Love should not make you feel chosen for a moment and forgotten the next. Love should not keep your heart in fear. Love should bring warmth, truth, care, and peace. It may not be perfect, but it should not make you disappear. This new life does not require you to become cold. You do not have to close your heart. You do not have to stop believing in love. You do not have to become someone who trusts nothing and needs no one. That is not healing. Healing is when your heart remains open, but your self-respect becomes stronger. Healing is when you can love, but no longer abandon yourself. Healing is when you can care, but no longer chase what brings pain. The new life begins in small choice. You choose not to return to the thought that says you are not enough. You choose not to explain your worth to someone who does not honor it. You choose not to give your whole day to someone's silence. You choose not to make your peace depend on a message. You choose not to keep reopening the wound in your mind. These choices may seem small, but they are sacred. They are how your life changes from the inside. Every time you stop chasing, you create space. Space for your body to rest. Space for your mind to clear. Space for your heart to heal. Space for new joy to enter. Space for healthy love to become possible. Space for life to show you that what is meant for your peace does not need to be forced. The space you fear may become the space that saves you. You may wonder what will happen if you stop reaching out. You may wonder if they will forget. You may wonder if the connection will disappear. You may wonder if your silence will close the door forever. But the deeper question is this: why must your peace depend on keeping a painful door open? Why must your heart live in fear of being forgotten by someone who did not remember to care for it well? Why must your life shrink around the possibility of losing what has already been hurting you? What is truly aligned with your spirit will not require you to betray your spirit to keep it. What is truly loving will not ask you to chase it from a place of fear. What is truly meant for your peace will not keep you in constant confusion. When you stop chasing, anything built only on your overgiving begins to fade. But what is real, steady, and healthy will meet you with care. Let what fades fade. Let what stays be honest. Let what leaves create space for what brings peace. A new life begins when your heart no longer calls anxiety love. It begins when your body no longer mistakes tension for connection. It begins when your mind no longer turns someone's silence into a question about your worth. It begins when you see that being calm is not boring. Being safe is not too simple. Being loved with care is not too much to ask for. You are allowed to want love that feels peaceful. You are allowed to stop fighting for a place in someone's life. You are allowed to stop trying to become the version of yourself that another person might finally choose. You are allowed to stop bending your heart around someone else's unreadiness. You are allowed to stop making excuses for what keeps causing pain. You are allowed to stop waiting for love to feel safe and begin creating safety within yourself now. This is where your new life grows. It grows in the way you speak to yourself after missing them. It grows in the way you care for your body after emotional heaviness. It grows in the way you choose peace when old habits call your name. It grows in the way you let tears come without turning them into a reason to return to pain. It grows in the way you tell yourself, I can feel this and still choose myself. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from wisdom. You are starting from the lessons you survived. You are starting from the strength that brought you here. You are starting from the truth that you now know what self-abandonment feels like, and you no longer want to live there. You are starting from a deeper understanding of love, peace, and worth. That is not nothing. That is a sacred beginning. A new life does not mean the past had no meaning. It means the past no longer gets to lead. The memories may still come. The feelings may still rise. The questions may still visit. But they do not have to become your home again. They can pass through while you remain with yourself. They can remind you of what happened without pulling you back into the same wound. You can remember and still move forward. The more you stop chasing, the more your own life becomes visible again. You may begin to notice what brings you peace. You may begin to feel interest in things you forgot. You may begin to smile without needing a reason from someone else. You may begin to sleep with a little less weight in your chest. You may begin to feel your energy returning in gentle waves. This is your life coming back to you. Do not rush this new life. Let it unfold gently. Let your heart take its time. Let your spirit learn what peace feels like. Let your mind become used to calm. Let your body understand that it no longer has to live in emotional alarm. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken because healing takes time. You are becoming steady in a way that pain could not teach you until you chose yourself. There will be days when you feel strong. There will be days when you feel tender. There will be days when old memories feel close. There will be days when peace feels easy. There will be days when peace feels like something you must choose with care. All of this belongs to healing. You do not need to be perfect to be free. You only need to keep returning to the truth that your heart deserves peace. Let the new life begin with self-respect. Let it begin with softness. Let it begin with rest. Let it begin with honest choices. Let it begin with the decision to no longer chase what keeps hurting you. Let it begin with the quiet belief that love can be gentle, and you do not need to suffer to receive it. Let it begin with you. You are not losing love. You are making room for a healthier kind of love. You are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself again. You are not being left behind. You are being guided back to your own soul. You are not empty because you stopped chasing. You are becoming available for peace. Now let your heart rest in the truth of this moment. You have carried so much. You have hoped so deeply. You have loved with a heart that wanted to believe in better days. And now you are learning that love must include you. Your peace matters. Your feelings matter. Your spirit matters. Your life matters. Let them go, not with hate, but with freedom. Let them go, not because your love was false, but because your peace is sacred. Let them go, not because you are giving up on love, but because you are no longer giving up on yourself. You can release what hurts you and still remain kind. You can step away and still remain loving. You can close a chapter and still trust that life is not finished with your heart. You do not need to chase what is meant to meet you with care. You do not need to beg for what should be given freely. You do not need to shrink for love. You do not need to stay where your spirit feels tired. You are allowed to choose calm. You are allowed to choose healing. You are allowed to choose yourself. Your heart is coming home now. Your energy is returning now. Your peace is rising now. The part of you that felt lost is finding its way back through self-love, through truth, through gentle strength. You are not the same person who stayed in pain without knowing how to leave. You are wiser now. You are softer in the right places and stronger in the places that need protection. Let this be the season where you stop abandoning yourself. Let this be the season where your own love becomes a safe place. Let this be the season where peace is no longer something you wait for from another person, but something you grow within your own heart. Let this be the season where you remember who you are. You are worthy of love that feels peaceful. You are worthy of care that feels steady. You are worthy of a life that does not keep your spirit in fear. You are worthy of softness, honesty, respect, and joy. You are worthy now. So let the old weight fall away. Let the old chasing become quiet. Let the old pain lose its hold. You are returning to yourself. You are choosing peace. You are loving yourself first. And from this place, a calmer, brighter, more loving life can begin.